If you need to promote your band or business, or just want to stylize, personalize, or customize your ride, check out vid-decals.com. Want to create and customize your own stickers representing your band, or make your own bumper sticker? Vid Decals can do it. All stickers are printed on quality vinyl and can be placed on any flat surface. Stickers are an affordable way to promote your band or business. Go to vid-decals.com to get started. That's vid-decals.com. vid-decals.com.
RockstarLeatherworks.com is your home for badass rock and roll gear. Featuring 100% handmade leather bands, watches, cuffs, bracelets, and more, Rockstar Leatherworks has something for everybody. Whether you are going to the show or you are in it, you can find something to fit your needs. Choose from a variety of designs or create your own masterpiece. Their bands and watches are second to none. They also ship internationally. Who needs a stage to be a rock star? Check out RockstarLeatherworks.com.
Hi, this is Bobby Brown, and welcome to another fucking podcast.
You kids with your loud music and your Dan Fogelberg, your Zima, hula hoops, and Pac-Man video games, don't you see? People today have attention spans that can only be measured in nanoseconds.
See, son, old legends never die. They just lose weight.
Like a legend and an out-of-work bum with a lot of life.
All right, there we go. Yes, Courtney, it is party time. Hello, Hollywood. Hello, world. And hello, my loyal minions. It is good to see you, and it's always good to be seen. My name is Izzy Presley, and welcome to another fucking podcast. It is good to be back. Thank everybody who listened to the Bruce Kulick episode a couple weeks ago, live from the Other Door, doing another show from the Other Door on the 20th of this month, and I'm working on my guest, and this is where I need all of you fuckers to help out. I have started to annoy Mark Hamill via Twitter, and I need everybody to go to my Twitter machine, which is Izzy_Presley, and retweet the Mark Hamill tweet just to annoy him so bad that he might actually say yes. Crossing my fingers on that. Not counting on it, but you never know. The dude's a fucking Jedi Master. He was Cockknocker, for Christ's sakes. Come on, let's get fucking Mark Hamill down here. Make sure you... oh, Jesus Christ. I haven't talked in a couple days. I can't even fucking talk right now.
You breaking in that mouth for a friend.
Yeah, that's what she said. Make sure you check out all of the social media, which is, of course, on Facebook, facebook.com/anothereffingpodcast. Find out what I am doing entertainment-wise on my entertainment page, which is Izzy Presley 1. If I'm actually going to go out and do stand-up comedy again, you can find that there. And, of course, you can find out what is happening with Soundcheck Live, which I am lucky enough to host each and every month. The last Wednesday of every month it is now. This would be Wednesday the 30th of August is the next show. No player announcements yet, but God damn it, you know that stuff is coming. What else do we got? Hey, we have T-shirts. You can go buy T-shirts at the Teespring page. Teespring, that's teespring.com. And just put in Izzy Presley in that search thing. You'll find the Izzy Presley Productions page. I have... Oh, God, we got Drunken Summit T-shirts. We have Loyal Minion T-shirts. We have Huge and Sheboygan T-shirts. We have Ack, a tribute to Ace Frehley T-shirts and hoodies and women's shirts. And the Ace Frehley shirts come in black and blue.
Black.
See what I did there.
I see what you did there.
See what I did there.
It looks like my shins.
Ah, that too. That too. Or a fake ace.
Fake ace.
Fake ace. Yes. Face.
Stop making that fake ace face.
I can't help it, so good. I do it and stuff so good. Oh, shit. What else do we got? Oh, hey. Beater Amplification. Make sure you check these guys out. I am honored to be their very first artist. Scotti just played through that fucking beater, and it sounds amazing. Hand-wired, 100 watts. You pull 2 tubes, which I have right now, done. So it's a 50, which is really nice. Because you
Kicks ass, man.
You don't always need 100 watts. I mean, you kind of do, I guess.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, the louder, the gooder. But fucking killer tones, hand-wired, just hand-built. Check them out. Beater Amplification, Beeter. You can find them. So good. And then support the sponsors. Got to make sure I'm not forgetting anything. It's been a couple weeks. Well, I guess I could introduce you to our guest this week. Ladies and gentlemen from Skid Row, please welcome Scotti Hill.
Hello.
Yay!
How's it going, man?
Dude, it's good to see you. We've been planning on this for a little
We
while.
have. We get the schedule straight and all that stuff.
Right.
Uh-huh.
You drove all the way over here from Santa Monica.
Yes, yeah. See, that is how I feel about you. I will drive over here in rush hour traffic
So sweet.
to do this, and I'll tell you, everybody's like, oh man, no, my town's got bad traffic. No, it doesn't. Your traffic is you don't have bad traffic. This city has some bad fucking traffic. Unless you live in New York, you can't say you got bad traffic.
Well, and if you're in New York, you're taking the bus, you're taking the train.
You know, it's funny. I was thinking about Snake on the way over here because he used to live in Burbank, right? And if you've ever ridden in a car with him, he is a screamer, screaming at everybody. Just, motherfucker, look at this ass. How about a blinker? Blah, blah, blah. I was like, wow, he finally moved out of L.A. Wow, he got that traffic nightmare out of his system. Where's he move? He moves to Long Island.
Oh, Jesus.
So,
oh my God.
They got some traffic.
Well, imagine me. I got the ginger rage going.
Yeah.
And I'm a Lyft and Uber driver at the same time. So I'd have to bite my lip. I literally almost slapped these two kids last night.
Oh, yeah.
I was so fucking pissed. I picked them up it was bar clothes. They're probably 22 years old. And they get in, and I had just had it. Because every once in a while, you just kind of reach that point where, like, I don't fucking like doing this.
Yeah.
But I don't pay my bills if I don't, so, all right,
Yep.
get your drunk asses in the car. Well, one of them comes in, he's like, and I was listening to Hair Nation. I think Nelson was on.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm enjoying it because I like those twins. Those are good twins.
Yeah, sure.
And this kid's like, dude, can we put something else on? I looked at him, I go, no.
There goes your rating, man.
Yeah, fuck him. I don't care. And then about a minute later, he's like, dude, really, can I play a hip-hop song? I go,
hip-hop?
No.
No, you can fucking walk.
Yeah, exactly. So we're driving, and these guys are acting like fucking 7-year-olds who didn't get their way. And he starts playing the Beastie Boys, which is ironic because I like the Beastie Boys.
Oh, sure.
But
yeah.
I didn't want to give in to that.
All right.
You know?
All right. Yeah.
So they're doing all the loud, slow rapping, trying to be assholes in the back seat. So I put on Megadeth, Holy Wars.
There you go.
It was awesome. Then one of them goes, God, I feel like I'm in Wayne's World, and this guy's our driver, and this would be the song.
Well, you know what? They got a point. They got a point.
It is absolutely true.
I would take that as a compliment.
I did.
Yeah.
Oh, I absolutely did. Oh, Lori Nickel checking in from Australia. Says, hello, Scotty.
Oh, man. It's got to be what?
Down under. It's noon.
It's noon down there.
It's noon down
there. All right.
Yes,
So,
yes.
it was just noon here a few hours ago.
Yeah,
What's
it was.
the big deal?
It was, and I was almost
Oh, but
sleeping
that's
in it.
tomorrow, noon.
Right. Yeah, that's right.
Maybe she could,
No, it's a dude.
hit us with some. Maybe he could hit us with some lottery numbers or something since he's calling from the future.
I like how you think.
Oh, yeah. I think like a rocker.
So how long have you been here in L.A.? Because you predominantly a New York guy, right? Or Jersey?
Both. I grew up in the tri-state area. I grew up, just all around that area. We moved a lot. Yeah, man, I've been out here, 3.5 years now?
Oh, wow.
Digging it very
I didn't
much.
know you were out here that long. I
Now,
thought
if you
moved
told
out
me
here.
the first time I came to L.A. with a band that I would one day live here, I'd be like, you're fucking high, man. A bunch of assholes living out there,
Right.
I'm fucking East Coast, dude. But turns out now I'm an L.A. guy. I'm waiting to get my rad license so I can use the word rad. I think of another 8 more years, maybe I can start saying rad and shit like that. But otherwise, it's all good, man. I like it. I like it here. You can't beat the weather. I live on a corner, but I don't have to shovel to walk. It's fucking right on,
I don't miss that at all.
No, man.
What's weird? It's like you're a kid and you grow up in that, in that climate, and you love it, because you're playing hockey every day and, doing what kids
Oh, yeah.
do in the
Yeah, I
wintertime.
was playing hockey. Every day I was playing hockey.
I'm from Minneapolis, so, we're self
Oh, shit. Oh, hell yeah.
the hockey's in the blood.
Yeah, we're throwing snowballs at cars.
Well, we did that, too.
Oh, yeah, you guys got
We did all that shit, dude. And we got the 70 below zero.
I hit the snowplow driver right through the window one night, man. Hit him right in the head. It was and I'm not a sports guy or anything, so
Right.
I wound up and I threw that snowball, and I had been holding it for a while. It was packed, hard as a rock, and Went right through the window, hit that guy in the side of the head. It was unbelievable. He was screaming, pulled the truck over.
Of course he did.
Yeah, man.
That's a once-in-a-lifetime shot.
I got the fuck out of there.
Of course
I heard he's still looking for me. You know? I mean, it was just last year. No, I was, 12.
Oh, my God. Yeah, I mean, the weather out here rules. It's like, Kimmel said it best. It's like, people say we don't have the seasons. Yeah, we do. We have the good one.
Yeah, exactly. This is great. But it's interesting thing is I moved here from Florida. When I got so sick of one day I'm in the fucking grocery store back east and I'm like, you know what? It sucks here. I'm going to move somewhere I go on vacation.
Right.
And I moved to Florida and I got drunk. And as 13 years later I woke up and said, "Wait a minute. Where'd that 13 years go?" So I said, "All right, it's too hot, too humid. Let's move somewhere where it's hot and not as humid."
There you go.
And there's some shit going on and some cool guys hanging out. And here we are. By the way, the fucking view up here is amazing. I've never seen. I'm looking over at Universal, and this is the time of day to go. There's nobody lined up for Minions. I can see it from here. He's got a telescope, and that fish tank in the foyer. I've never seen such a big fish tank in my life.
Well, usually that telescope isn't pointed at Universal.
Right.
We got some apartments across.
We got some apartments over there.
Apartments over here,
yep.
and
you turn off all these lava lamps and turn off all the lights, and it's just
yep.
pointed over at the. Well, what a place! I'm telling you.
Well, I'm glad you enjoy it as much as I do.
You must be doing well with Uber.
Oh yeah, let me tell you.
Because this is something else.
Let me tell you. But yeah, I mean, you're Santa Monica. You're down close to the beach.
Yes.
Can't complain about it.
Yeah, man. We've got the what is it called? I don't know. We got a train that goes by, man. It goes right down to the boardwalk or whatever.
Oh
that thing
yeah.
So the pier.
Right. Yeah, you're
takes
right
you
on
to
the
the pier.
The pier.
The pier. Yes, you go down to the pier.
I'm more of a fan of the Venice Beach Pier. Because
I know there's one down there.
It's a shit show.
Yeah. I haven't been down there in years, even though I live right by there.
Right,
I go to that Costco. It's like right by there. But I never made it down to the pier. I'll have to check it out.
Yeah,
because I'm always up for a good shit show.
It is. I mean,
I like to jump in and be part of the show. Actually,
it's like Walmart by the ocean. It's the best way to look at it. Oh, so you weren't a sports kid growing up? It was always music.
No, it was standing on the corner for a long time, and then it became music. When I was 13, I started playing guitar.
All right.
My sister, I got 3 older sisters, and one of them got me a month's worth of guitar lessons for my birthday. And I borrowed her boyfriend's nylon string guitar, and that was it, man. Seriously, no joking. I was just in the room playing. My parents were great enough to buy me a Fender Telecaster, which I love Fender Telecasters today. I wish I still had that one. It was a 1978 natural Fender Telecaster.
Oh, nice.
It was I got it brand new down at Manny's on 48th Street, and anybody that doesn't know about the old 48th Street in New York, that's where all the music stores were.
Okay.
It was like a block long, music stores, 3 stories high. Just you go to one store, you go upstairs, go to another store, used shops, new shops, and Manny's was the place. The walls were plastered with pictures of all the guys that bought guitars there. Hendrix used to shop there. Everybody used to shop there. And you always saw, famous people walking around. It's New York. You always see famous people walking around. And then and 48th Street was, if you were from the East Coast, that was the place to go and just hang, So I would hop on the train and go down there and look in the window. And then my parents took me down there and bought me this guitar. And it was like my guitar came from Manny's,
Right.
Yeah, it was pretty awesome. So I was hooked. Man. That was like, God knows what I would have done because I wasn't good at anything, Mm-hmm. So just playing music, that's where it was at. Yeah.
Do you remember the first song that you learned?
Heart of Gold by Neil Young.
Wow, it wasn't Smoke on the Water.
No. I still haven't tackled that one. I don't know.
It's so funny that a lot of people don't even learn that song right.
Is that true?
It is true.
Yeah?
It is true because it's not power chords. Everybody thinks it's.
Oh no,
Yeah,
it's like the two middle strings there. Yeah, and he's plucking them. He's plucking the D and the G.
Yeah.
No, it's not power chords. Not power chords.
I know it is. But that's how everybody teaches it. It's odd. That's how I learned it. That was the first song I learned.
Well, you got to learn power chords somewhere.
Yeah, this is true. David McDonald says hello from New York. We got Scotty Strickland checking in from Canada.
David and Scotty in Canada.
Yeah, northern Canada, eh?
Hey, tell him you got a mouse in your beer. And
oh, trust me, it's like between him and the dudes from the Killer Dwarves.
Yes,
it's just fucking strange brew.
I had a friend of mine, a Canadian friend of mine. He owned a bar in Florida. I used to hang out in, called the Paddy Wagon, and we used to at the end of the night when we were all toasty, we would call the Bass Beer Company because on the back of the bottle it said something like, "Got a comment? Call us up," you know.
Right.
And we call them like every weekend, but nobody ever picked up. You know, they're like, I can imagine. I can imagine the messages they got on that answering machine. You know, it's like they actually put a phone number on the bottle. And we were, you know, dumbasses enough to think that somebody's going to pick up the phone.
Oh my God. Yeah, I can just imagine those fucking messages.
Mm-hmm.
They've got to be golden. Oh, yeah, I'll bring some Elsinore beer.
Yes.
There you go, Scotty. How long from when you started playing guitar until you got in your first band?
It wasn't long.
Okay.
The guy I took lessons from gave lessons to two other guys from the town that I lived in, which was a little tiny town about an hour from New York City. And I guess we were the only three guys in town that played. So he brought us over to his house one day, and we started playing cocaine. I'm like, what's cocaine? I'm going to have to find out about this cocaine. Anyway, I like playing the music, so we played cocaine for hours. Hours and hours and hours. The endless jam. And then, you know, playing in that little pentatonic box up on the 12th fret where we still play. And you know,
where else do you need to go?
That's right. That's the lead equivalent of your three chords.
I always say, what would Ace Frehley do?
Right.
He would
What
play
would
the
a
pentatonic
lot
style.
of guys do?
This is true.
What would Zach do? You know,
what would Angus do?
Yeah, exactly.
Keep it simple.
This is good stuff. So that was the band, and I think we called ourselves Pegasus, and then changed our name to Full House. I think something like that. But anyway, we played at some hospital fair or something like that. Our set was like 3 songs. We just played them over and over again.
Right.
But there were, you know, the other kids from the school were sitting on the grass watching us. And all of a sudden, I stopped getting my ass kicked at school. And
it's funny how that happens.
Yeah, it is funny how that happens. You fucking shallow motherfuckers.
Exactly. You get on stage once, and all of a sudden, you know, chicks want to blow you, and guys don't want to beat the shit out of you.
Well,
anymore.
no chicks wanted to blow me, unfortunately. But I wasn't getting my ass kicked at school anymore. So, not that I didn't went that much, but that was it was fun. It was fun, you know. You get that then butterflies in your stomach and all that, and it was a good time. So I was hooked. I was hooked on the, you know, just playing and performing, and so the bands, you know, went on and on from there.
Okay, so then, how old were you when you met the guys and Skid Row started up?
Rachel bought me my first legal beer.
Wow!
The day I turned 21. I met him when I was 20, and so, you know, it's been a while.
Sorry if I get into some of these questions, but I don't really know a lot of the history. I mean, obviously I know the music.
Yeah,
and, I was in high school when it came out or
Sure.
whatever, but I mean, there was never fucking no behind the music on Skid Row. You know, so I like to find this shit out.
It would have been a good one, but we
good.
didn't need to do it. I think it's well documented. But
right.
Yeah. So I met Rachel through an ad in a local rag called the Aquarian, which anybody back east will remember, the East Coast Rocker or the Aquarian. It was you know, it was a music magazine, the ads in the back.
Right,
no
right,
posers, man. You know. So I was like, well, you know, I'm not a poser, man. So I'm gonna answer all these ads. So, you know, I'm driving all over tri-state area, you know, checking out bands and getting rejected or rejecting, And I kept missing Rachel and I kept missing each other's phone calls, and because his band sounded really cool. The only problem was they were in Toms River, and I was up in Orange County, New York at the time. It was 140 miles, one way. But I drove down there anyway to check it out, and I wound up joining that band called Godsend, and that was. After that, I mean, I was driving down there every weekend, So if anybody says it's too far, the band is too far, and then don't deal with them, because you got to drive, man. You got to bring yourself to where it is happening.
Exactly.
Exactly.
And if it's right, it's right. And
yeah.
No fucking mileage.
No, there's no mileage. Like, relocate.
Right.
The shit's not going to come to you.
Right.
So. Anyway, that being said, I wound up crashing on his parents' couch for a while, and in the spare room, and Godsend played around New York and Philadelphia. Nothing really became of it, and eventually fizzled out. So I wound up going back to New York, and he started playing in a band with Snake, who we knew from the local music store. He worked there. And that band was kind of retooling, and they needed a guitar player, and I came in, and I joined Skid Row. And that was 1986.
Okay. Wow,
Mm-hmm.
So it wasn't very long before you guys got signed, but it was after Sebastian came in.
Yeah, it was a couple years,
Okay.
We had a different singer at the time,
Mm-hmm.
and that guy's name was Matt Fallon. And it didn't work out with Matt, so we got rid of him and started looking for a singer. A lot of guys came down, some notable people and a lot of unknown people. And we wound up getting Sebastian in the band from Canada. So,
Yeah, he was in a band called Madam X.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right. So, there you go. There's a guy who's coming in from another country. It happens, it's Canada. It's right next door. But
Yep.
still, he's relocated to another city.
Yep.
And we took it from there.
How different vocally was the original guy compared to Sebastian?
Well, some of the songs, we have demos of some of the songs. We have demos of 18 in Life, and I believe Youth Gone Wild, and other songs you wouldn't know, but with Matt. And Matt was a little more raspy.
Okay.
He was, sometimes his lower range was compared to Bon Jovi a little bit. He just had a problem showing up for gigs and rehearsal, and
Yeah, that'll put a damper on things.
yeah. So there you go, sayonara.
Well, and you guys originally, Jovi helped you guys, right?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
How did you cross paths with Mr. Jovi originally?
Snake grew up. They're neighbors.
Oh wow, okay.
They're neighbors. They grew up in the same neighborhood. So just a block away from each other.
Wow.
They're lifelong friends. They still are. So John took an interest in the band. He wanted to help his friend out. And, he had helped out Cinderella.
Yep.
And Snake had put together a kick-ass band that needed some some fine tuning. So basically fired everybody except for Rachel, and then rebuilt the band.
There you go.
Brought me in, brought Rob Affuso in, and then eventually Sebastian came in.
Speaking of Cinderella, I had Jeff LaBar is a good friend. He's been on the show a couple times.
I love Jeff.
We were talking about the Moscow Music Peace Festival.
Yeah.
And I believe he had said something that you guys made Sebastian leave his room and go crash with Jeff or something like that.
I don't know.
You don't remember?
I don't know.
Okay.
I was running around with Randy Castillo, raising hell. It was like everybody was just out going nuts, and
right.
I was climbing a building somewhere with Randy Castillo. So that's another story. But I don't know what happened with those guys, but I know that when we showed up for the gig the next day, everybody was a fucking wreck, man.
Of course.
I mean, I was puking on my way to the stage, literally it's up this at the bottom of the steps to the stage. I was puking like, and I see the video, and I'm like, wow, all right, not bad.
Yeah.
Pull it off. But I mean, shit, that was 24 or 25.
Right.
So I better be able to pull it off.
I would hope so.
Yeah.
Well, I had heard that the real party was on the plane coming over.
Yeah, it was. It was. Yeah, I eventually passed out. Yeah, that plane left Newark and flew to Germany to pick up the Scorpions. And how many people get to say that? Yeah, I just
Right?
to Germany to pick up the Scorpions. You know, so and I think by the time we got there, everybody was hammered. And the most ironic part is that the whole festival is a rock against alcohol and drugs, and you've got some fucked up motherfuckers on that plane, stumbling off of that plane,
Right.
and that continued. We were there for 4 days maybe, and that continued. But the whole thing we pulled it off. But the craziest part was a year prior to that, Snake and I were working at a music store. You know?
Yeah.
Yeah, man. Once shit started rolling, it happened fast, man. So it was pretty crazy, you know.
Well, yeah, that was
getting on this plane, and there's Peter Max, the artist, and there's Motley Crue, and there's Bon
Fucking
Jovi
Ozzy.
and Ozzy. Yeah, Ozzy. It was nuts.
Did you know Zach
Yes.
before?
Yeah. We knew Zach before any of us did jack shit. Yeah, he used to come into the music store. Snake and I see him. Oh, Zach's here. Let's get him a guitar. Watch him play. Because he was always just incredible.
Obviously, yeah.
And we'd plug him into an amp, and he just rip the fucking top off the guitar, man. It was just amazing. So I can remember watching him play at the Stone Pony in New Jersey with his band Zyrus. There's 10 people in the place, and he's out on the dance floor on his knees, just shredding the fuck out of it. Didn't care. He could have been playing in an arena or in Moscow or wherever. He was a star, you know.
Did that make it even more bittersweet, though?
What?
To know that you're going on this journey, and then all of a sudden, another guy, one of your bros from back home, boom, he's going along with you.
Oh no, that was great. That was great. I mean, it was like, look at what we've done.
Right.
Here we are. We're doing this shit, you know?
Yeah.
I mean, when it's happening to you, those kind of grand things, it's a little different than you would imagine it, because you still wake up, you take a dump, and you're a fucking normal dude. At least you think you are, and then you look around you at what's happening, and it's like, this is happening.
Yeah.
This is really happening. Whoa, it's incredible.
Well, yeah, and then it's like all of a sudden you're on tour with Guns N' Roses, and you find out that you're being shipped #1.
Yeah.
You
Yep.
know? Actually, Lori did have a question about the Guns N' Roses. What was it like touring with Guns N' Roses in the UYI tour? Saw you guys at the Auckland, New Zealand.
Oh, yeah. I remember that. That was cool.
Oh, the Use Your Illusion. Okay, that
Yes,
makes sense. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, we did. That was, we were on, I think it was like 92 or 93 or something like that. And we did. We went on tour with Guns N' Roses in the States and select venues throughout the world. And that particular gig that she's talking about in New Zealand was a giant stadium. It was a huge fucking stadium. And I think it might have been we had been to New Zealand already, but the GNR tour was really cool, man. It was really cool. It was it wasn't as wild as some of the other tours we've done, and it wasn't as wild as you might think it was, but it was grand. It was just grand on many scales, and occasionally though we'd ride on the plane with those guys, and I can remember Slash and Duff refused to wear their seatbelts on the plane and shit. And I'm like, whoa, look at these guys, man. Jeez. They're not wearing their seatbelts. It's like if a plane goes down, the seatbelt's going to make a difference. But that tour was really cool, man. Didn't see much of Izzy, although he was out there. And he was friendly when you saw him, but he was laying really low. He had gotten clean, and nobody else was clean, and it was just a lot of partying going on and stuff. But they were great. They were dangerous.
Right.
They were very dangerous, and they were great.
So it was tamer than touring with Pantera.
Oh God, anything's tamer than touring with Pantera. I mean, Jesus, WWE's tamer than touring with Pantera.
Right. Do you have a favorite Dimebag story?
They're all my favorites, man. He was just fun to be around. He was a fun guy, you know. He would, stand on a loading dock and play his guitar for 5 fans that were hanging out behind the building, and he was just always having fun and getting into shit and doing creative things. And but we learned, we thought we could party until we toured with those guys.
Right.
And then we got schooled, and then we learned lots of new things, and there we were, out with this band that I fell in love with in the very beginning, and made the suggestion to bring them out. I remember I was having a little party painting my kitchen. It was me and a can of paint and a bottle of cough medicine, and I was listening to WSOU, Seton Hall, New Jersey, the only metal station on the East Coast was a college radio station.
Of course.
And, you guys had KNAC out here and stuff, but we didn't have that. So we had WSOU, and I was getting really high, and I heard this band, and they played Cowboys from Hell, and I was floored, man. I was just blown away. I was like, wow, what is this? So as soon as I was capable, I got in my car and went and bought that record, and it was just blew my mind. I went to the guys. I said, "You got to hear this. Check this out. We should bring these guys on the road."
Well, it was so different from everything at that time.
Yeah, I mean, it set a new standard.
Right.
I mean, you heard heavy music before that, and it was like Metallica, Anthrax, Slayer, and then after Pantera came, the whole sound changed. I think the sound of everything changed, and that's great in a way, and it sucks in a way, because a lot of times when that happens, the imitations get, it's degeneration.
Right. Right. I mean, well, you saw the exact same thing happen with grunge. I mean, It was, as much as it sucked at that time, being a fan of of your music and that genre of music, it was revolutionary and it was different. Pardon me. And it just got watered down and watered down.
Oh, yeah,
turned
sure.
into fucking,
Yeah, it was...
turned into Creed.
Yeah, it did, yeah. It got exactly. It got watered down, sweetened up, and I was never into it anyway. There wasn't enough. There wasn't enough guitar heroics. And,
Thank you.
I was like, I've always wanted to hear guys play. And guys banging on chords on Jaguars or whatever. This is just not for me. There's nothing wrong with it, unless you're me, and you think there's something wrong with it. But yeah. But it's we lost a generation of guitar players to grunge.
We did. We really did.
But I'll tell you what, they've come back. I mean, you go on Instagram and look around, and the shit that people are doing is just ridiculous.
Oh, I know. It's like I'm a host on the Monsters of Rock cruise every year, and they do the Think You Can Shred contest. And last year, this 15-year-old kid won it.
Right.
And
right.
I mean, and he's playing in front of George Lynch and Joel Hoekstra.
Oh God.
And I mean, he's just fucking going, and I'm just looking at him going, I can play Kiss songs.
Yeah, right. Right. Yeah, when I was 15, I was still playing cocaine.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like still playing that box up on the 12th fret. It's like the thing is, they have YouTube. They have, and I will go on there now, and I'll be like, I'm gonna fuck around with this or that. I'm gonna learn this whatever scale or something. Right. And chances are, I'm learning it from somebody who's still in the teenage years. I'm like, whatever. I don't give a shit.
Right. Hey, man, you learn something new. You learn something new.
And you know what? Here's the thing about the guitar. If you think you got it down, you're wrong. You are wrong. You will die and still never master the guitar. There's no mastering the guitar. There's no mastering. It's the ultimate puzzle that cannot be solved. It's just a complex puzzle.
All right, I got a couple tweets here.
What's up, tweeters?
Not Kato Kalin. Johnny Rockwell says, please give Scotti a big hell yeah from Johnny Rockwell.
Yeah, well, let me tell you about Johnny Rockwell. Johnny Rockwell is the guy that owned that bar in Florida.
Really?
Yes, and I remember the last night he owned the bar, we closed the door and locked it at the end of the night, and then we took a golf club and destroyed the place. It was amazing.
True rock and roll fashion.
Just shit flying everywhere. It started with a trophy. Hey, let's break this trophy with a golf club. Next thing you know, everything's on the floor. The whole place is trash. There's chairs everywhere. It's amazing what two dudes can.
Had he sold the bar, or was it just...
Yeah, it was sold. It was sold, and, funny thing is I was friends with the guy also that bought it. So it's like, oh, yeah, that fucking Johnny, he trashed the place.
Oh, my God, that is worth...
You hear that, Johnny? I'm throwing you under the bus, man.
That is worth a Pat Fontaine laugh. Where is it?
Yeah.
Fucking Pat Fontaine. I love that fucker. All right, what else do we got? Wild Roads, the legendary Manny's on 48th Street. I like it.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, it was great. It's gone now. All that stuff is gone. And soon Guitar Center will be gone, too. We lost all those music stores to the giant conglomerate. Now the conglomerate is probably going to go to
Genevieve rocks. Listening to Izzy Presley and Scotti Hill, I want to live in L.A. and write about guys who play. All right, well, please do.
You're a poet.
Please
Didn't know it.
There you go. I did want to ask you about, were you guys afraid of the sophomore slump?
Everybody was talking about it. Everybody's like, oh, sophomore slump. And, we had a hit song. We had hit songs on the radio. We're on tour. And there's really no time to worry about that stuff. And the interesting thing about Slave to the Grind is, when the first Skid Row record was written over a few years and well before it came out.
Right.
And Slave to the Grind was written during and after, mostly after 16 months on the road. And we came back with different tastes in music. We were listening to heavy music. We were partying our asses off. We were living the life. And what you hear on Slave to the Grind that's the result of that. So, sophomore slump, it's like throwing a dice, man. People are going to buy this shit or not,
Right. So none of that stuff was written beforehand. That was all
Slave to the Grind.
Yeah.
I think there might have been a few riffs
that
were probably, maybe floating around, but there was no leftover from the first record. There was stuff that didn't make the first record that was never used again. Maybe released on compilation. I don't know, but it wasn't pushed over to Slave to the Grind. It wasn't like Overflow. Slave to the Grind was. It's just. You know what? I love that record, and it's because
it's fucking amazing.
Because the spirit of it is what was happening to us at the time. It was what was happening in music. We were getting heavier. Our tastes were changing. People were like, "Oh, this might be too heavy." We're like, who fucking cares, man?
Well, the thing also, too, it's like from where your genre was going at the time, it was
going the opposite way.
Yeah, exactly.
Well,
you were going more towards the Pantera, but still towards the GNR stuff, and the genre itself was going more towards the Warrant.
Cavities and
Trickster. And I love those guys.
Absolutely. Yeah. Absolutely. I love all that stuff, but it's not what we wanted to do.
Right.
And there are some trends that were happening at the time that we wanted to stay away from. We didn't want to have big titted chicks in our videos.
Right.
We like big titted chicks.
Of course we do.
We don't want them in our videos. We want to represent ourselves as a heavy rock band, and that meant a lot to us. So, whenever we did the video treatments and stuff, you go back and look at them, they're the only girl you'll find in one of those videos is the photograph and I Remember You, I believe.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Did that really have a lot to do with being a East Coast band as compared to a West Coast band? Do you think?
Possibly. I don't think it was. I don't think we looked at it that way. Although we proudly looked at ourselves as an East Coast band. I think it was just something that, had been done a bunch of times. And,
Right.
After Van Halen did all the cat calls and stuff, how can you top that?
True.
So, and bands were going in that direction, and ballads were hot, and we all did ballads. We did them on Slave to the Grind.
You had great ballads on Slave to the Grind.
Yeah, they're cool, man. They're cool. Yeah. We still play them too.
Yeah, I mean it's very melodic stuff. It wasn't your cookie cutter. All right, here's a love song.
Yeah, like
know?
Quicksand Jesus. That
fucking
song
amazing.
stands the test of time. I
Wasted
think.
time. And fuck.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that. Yeah, that's a great song.
I do. Scotty has a question from Canada about that record. He wants to know what were your thoughts on the two versions of Slave to the Grind, the PG and the.
Oh yeah. Well, at the time, it was a big deal to get your. The label was like, "Oh my God! If they put a sticker on your record, you're not going to be able to sell it at Walmart." And I was like, "What the fuck is Walmart? What the hell is this Walmart?"
Right.
Well, that's where people go shopping. I was like, "Well, not where I live."
Right.
Right? We go shopping at the store. But I didn't know
Yeah.
what we didn't have Walmart, We didn't have
Right,
Walmart
right.
back. We at the time, so back east we didn't have Walmart. And so Walmart was not going to take the record. That's what they kept telling us. So we had a song called Beggar's Day, and we put Beggar's Day on a version for
On the clean
Walmart.
version,
So
yeah.
so there was two versions of Slave to the Grind. One of them didn't have Get the Fuck Out.
Right.
And the other one has Beggar's Day. And Beggar's Day is a really cool song. I dig it. And but that's just how it worked back in those days. Oh, you're gonna get a sticker on your record? Yeah. Well, more people are gonna buy the record with the sticker, you dumbass.
Yeah, exactly.
So because people like to use dirty language.
They do so good. Hey, A&P Productions Laser Engraving Division. They can put your logo on anything that you see fit. You got a sidearm, they can put it on there.
Yeah.
Really? Absolutely.
State of California won't let me carry one.
Yeah, don't get me fucking started.
I would have used it on the way over here too.
Everything from mugs to guns. That's right. You can laser engrave your sidearm, like I just told you. So, go to A&P Laser on Facebook or squareup.com/store/OzToys. That's OZ Toys. To connect, and you can even buy another effing podcast roadie pack that comes with a flask, a Zippo. I have the Zippo right here. Look at that. Hey, what do you know?
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice work. I'm going to bring them a grain of rice and see what they can do with that.
You know what? I bet you he could do something
That
with it.
laser stuff is really fancy.
It really is. And bottle openers for only $29.99. That is another effing podcast roadie pack shipping, and have it personalized with your name. So you can have the logo of the show on that fucking flask, which I have over here. It just fell down. And have your name on the flask.
Man, you know what? I miss that, dude. I don't drink anymore.
Really?
So I can't.
did not know that.
I can't use a flask, and I miss having a flask, and I miss having a Zippo. And
Oh, you quit smoking,
I
too.
quit smoking. I quit everything, man. I quit everything. So I miss those cool things. You
Yeah.
know? I miss looking cool, smoking cigarettes. Because I could do it and look really cool. So
Right, exactly.
But shit happens, and you get
there you go.
old, and all this and that. But I want a flask, and I want a Zippo. I just don't want to put anything in it.
You don't have to. I know people.
Yeah,
I know people.
All right.
I can maybe get you hooked up.
Yeah,
I can maybe get you hooked up.
Nice.
So yeah, that's A&P Laser on Facebook or www.squareup.com/store/OzToys on the web. That's A&P Laser Engraving. Check those guys out. We are going to take a minuscule little break. We'll be right back for another segment with Scotty Hill of Skid Row. It is another fucking podcast. Rockwood Saloon Authentic Apparel takes rock and roll fashion to a new level with their tees and tanks for men and women. They also make custom shirts, jackets, vests, pants, hoodies, beanies, and more. The Rockwood Graphics Department can design anything from your logo, t-shirt design, promo posters, band swag, and printed at great prices. From tour shirts and custom stage gear to killer threads for the street to the stage, Rockwood Saloon has it all. Rockwood Saloon, authentic rock and roll apparel for stage and street. World tour tested for quality, comfort, style, and durability. Check them out at www.rockwoodsaloon.com. That's rockwoodsaloon.com.
Retro Arcade brings Minnesota and surrounding areas arcade games from the days gone by. All of those great games from pizza joints and arcades are available in cocktail units and custom machines. Dozens of favorites from your youth in one machine to complete your game room or man cave. Retro Arcade also sells and services your favorite pinball machines. Find them at facebook.com/80arcade. That's facebook.com/80arcade. Retro Arcade. Your youth is just one click away.
Hey ladies, Sass Pants Designs will take that rock shirt that everyone has and make it your own in a flattering, sassy, and simple way. There are one-of-a-kind tank tops, lace-up tees, and tube top dresses already in stock. Check out the online store at sasspantsdesigns.com and like Sass Pants Designs on Facebook for special offers and custom orders. That's sasspantsdesigns.com. sasspantsdesigns.com. Sass Pants will make you the envy of the party.
All right, and we are back with Scotty Hill from Skid Row. Appreciate you hanging out for another segment.
Nice hang. Good hang, man.
Hey, next week, I forgot to tell you, I have Robbie Rist coming in studio. Good old Cousin Oliver from the Brady Bunch.
Robbie.
Good old Robbie.
Oh, Cousin Oliver.
Yeah,
All
the
right.
dude. I don't know if you're familiar with what he's been doing. I mean, he's one of the voices of one of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles in all the movies.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
No
he's
kidding.
been in Sharknado. He does a lot of voiceover stuff. Kiss Geek, which is why we get along.
Cool.
I found him before I moved out here, and I came across a video of him just playing guitar and singing "Wouldn't You Like to Know Me" off the Paul Stanley solo record.
Wow,
It's
yeah.
like, oh, that's fucking awesome.
Yeah. So he's digging deep there.
Oh, yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Nice. Speaking of Paul Stanley, I loved his book.
Yeah,
I
did too.
loved Paul Stanley's book. It was awesome. I could relate to it on so many different ways. It's really cool. Go ahead. Sorry.
How did you like that compared to Aces?
I didn't read Ace's book.
You got to read Aces. And the best part about reading Aces' book is listening to him narrate it in your head.
Oh, yeah. I love doing that. When I read Keith Richards' book, I was like, I heard his voice bouncing around my head. So I'll have to check out Ace's book.
Yeah, Peters is like that too.
Is it?
Yeah. I really like Peters.
Okay.
But Aces is my favorite because I'm an Ace wonk. I'm the blue Kool-Aid drinker. What can I say?
Yeah. Well, you know what? Ace was my guy when I was a kid. When I was a little Kiss fan, being ridiculed by those fucking jock boys at school. Yep.
We all went through it.
Yep. I was an Ace fan.
We're gonna get to Kiss in a little bit because that's exactly why this happened.
Sure.
Because you guys were the opening band on the farewell tour.
That is correct.
That is correct. But we're gonna get to that in a little bit. I do want to get to when Sebastian left, and sometimes I hear he was fired, sometimes I hear he quit, yada yada yada. But I'm bringing it around to Kiss because I had heard, and it's been a rumor for years, that the reason that Sebastian was not in Skid Row is because the Kiss reunion tour was happening and you guys were offered it and said no.
That caused a giant uproar is what it did. And he did something to Snake that was unacceptable.
Okay.
You know, he called his house on Thanksgiving and said some horrible things into his answering machine. And Snake says, you know what? I'm not going to be in a band with you anymore.
All right.
There you go.
Fair enough.
There you go.
Fair enough.
It's
See,
as simple as that.
I had never heard that story. You know,
I don't think anybody has. There you go. The scoop.
Oh wow. I feel like Trunk's so good. How was it for you guys? Well, I mean, when that happened, was it immediately thought, okay, what is the band over now? Are we going to find somebody else and move on?
Well, at that point, grunge had come into play. We had done Subhuman Race. We had gone out,
which is a heavy fucking
record.
Yeah,
it's a cool record. It's got its moments. And then we had gone out and done that tour, and it was a failure. And at that point, with everything that was going on internally in the band, something was gonna give.
Mm-hmm.
Something was, and that just happened to be what it was. So, you know, everybody had enough of everything,
right?
And it wasn't worth it for anybody to leave the house for that. So when that happened, we just all stopped calling each other. We had been on the road a lot, man.
Right.
I mean, we went out on that first tour. It was 16 months. We came home. We did a record. We went back on tour for 22 months. We came back home. We did another record. We went on, I don't know how, we were out for a long time, but those first 2 tours were really long. And that, for people that get along, that will wear thin.
Right.
So
Absolutely.
when there's lots of turmoil and stuff like that, it's hard to go on. So with all that combined, you've got guys that just are like, all right, I need a break.
Yeah.
So there was I don't think any of us really hung out or even saw each other much for probably a year. And then we started a little side project, the 3 of us, for a little while, Rachel, Snake, and I, called Ozone Monday. And we just wanted to try something different, just whatever comes out, Not particular for heavy music or any kind of music, but after a while, that just wasn't feeling right. And I remember Snake and I were going to New York one day. We were on the ferry riding over there. And he's like, would you be interested in doing Skid Row with a different singer? I was like, yeah. People are going to freak out. But
right.
They can start their own fucking band then,
Right.
Do it the way they want to do it.
Right.
This is what's happening. So that's what we did, and it was difficult. It was difficult, very difficult. We did that Kiss tour. And that was 140-something shows,
right.
All of which I watched.
Of course.
Yeah, we'll get to that. But, after that, it was a battle, man, to get where we're at now.
Right.
And, we're out playing now, and we're having a really good time. But it was a battle. It was a really down in the fucking shitholes again, and the vans and the RVs and the shitty hotels when you get them, and work our way up. Mm-hmm. Everybody's like, do a reunion. No.
I wasn't even going to ask that. I honestly was not even going to ask that.
No, but everybody asked that.
Exactly, but that's why I wasn't gonna. What I was going to ask you was, would you like to see it happen?
No.
Okay.
No. That door is closed.
Okay. There
was talk about it. The 2 camps went back and forth, and it was not to happen. So that door is now shut
forever.
Yes.
Last nail in the coffin.
I believe so. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. I mean, you know what? And I'll tell you what. Our singer, ZP T-Art.
T-Art.
Yes.
Thank you, because
just call him ZP.
ZP. There you go.
That's what he says. Just call me ZP, mate. He's a brother, man. He's a great fucking singer. He's a great front man. And he's a guy I look forward to seeing, and a guy I look forward to hanging out with. We trust him with the band that we've been in all this time. Mm-hmm. And that is precious to us.
Yeah, that's huge.
When we can go out and play and enjoy ourselves.
Yeah, that's important.
Because, people are like, hey, man, do it for the fans. Not at the expense of my happiness. No, sorry. It ain't fucking happening.
Right.
Oh, but do it for the fans. No.
How about no?
Yes. Right. We appreciate fans. We do. We're probably the most fan-friendly band you'll ever meet. I meet people all the time and say, you guys are so friendly because we met this band last week and they were assholes. We met this band, and we hear this shit all the time. Mm-hmm. We'll go out in the cold, we'll hang out with them. But what we won't do is put ourselves in a volatile situation and be unhappy and destroy what we have now.
That's completely respectable.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So that's, and that's it.
When you guys were originally looking to replace Sebastian, mm-hmm. Did it stick in your head a little bit going, okay, this guy he's a fucking rock star.
A superstar? Yes. And he's not a rock star, he's a superstar. Man.
He has a voice that nobody sounds like.
He's great, dude.
And
He's great.
Not many people can replicate.
Listen. I totally realize what he is. I'll speak for myself. He is a guy who he'll cut his own throat to do a good show. He puts it all out there. He's a great singer and a great front man and one of the all-time greats.
Yeah.
But we're not working together.
Right, and that's not where I was getting at. I was getting at
to replace a guy like that, you realize what you're up against. You realize people are like, oh, they have no idea. Yeah, we have an idea. Of course we do.
Right.
But it's just that was the only way to do it.
Right.
And the records he did with Skid Row are great. He did a great job.
They're iconic.
Yeah,
they are
great.
They are iconic.
Yep,
absolutely.
And he was just such a huge part of that, but just can't happen, So, but replacing a guy like that, it's hard. It's hard.
Well, I suppose, and then you got to hear that from the fans.
Yeah.
I mean,
everybody's like, oh, we're going to be like, we're on Skid Row's side or we're on Sebastian's side. No. You got to be on the side of rock and roll.
Right.
And when Sebastian plays in your town, go see him because he's great.
Right.
When Skid Row plays in town, go see him because I'm great. No, I'm just no, because we'll fucking blow your ass away.
I mean, it's funny how like guys that aren't original members have to deal with that. I mean, for many bands, like Ace from Faster Pussycat is one of my best friends in the world, and he still has people yelling at him.
Oh,
you're not fucking Brent. Like Brent hasn't been in this band.
Yeah.
I've been in this band longer than Brent's been in this band.
People think they're yelling at a TV set. They don't realize that TV set step right out there and get up in their face.
And at least Michael Grant doesn't have to hear that in LA Guns anymore because Tracy came back.
Yeah, right. That's true. It's hard for guys that come in after the fact, and the worst story of all was Brad Gillis, because that poor guy came in to help out Ozzy after Randy's horrible accident, and people sat there and flipped him off, man, and they said horrible things to him. And this guy's one of the greatest guitar players out there.
Oh, my God.
Helping a legend through a horrible, horrible time.
Yeah.
People are fucked up, man. Don't do that. Don't do that shit. That's wrong.
Absolutely.
That's wrong.
Do you think anybody has got it worse than Tommy Thayer, though?
You know what? I love Tommy, and I think he does great.
Oh, he does. He does. I mean, personally,
and the Kiss fans, I think for the most part, are enduring to him because they, we've done a few of the cruises, and they've they love him. They love him. Of course, they'd like to see the original, but you don't always get what you want.
Right. Well, look, I'm with Tronk on it. It's like Tommy and Eric. Great players.
Oh, yeah.
They obviously deserve to be in the band. It's just the fact that he's wearing Ace's makeup that bugs me.
Well, that's not.
I get it.
It's not his fault. He's wearing Ace's makeup.
I know. And if they called me, where do I go to get size for my spacesuit?
Yeah. Yeah. Sure.
I mean, I get it. I understand why Gene and Paul are doing it. It's business.
Yeah.
I mean,
hey, you know what? You can either have those guys wearing Ace and Peter makeup or not have Kiss. Which would you rather have?
True.
I would rather have Kiss.
Speaking,
I would rather have.
Yeah,
Kiss.
go ahead, please.
I would rather have Kiss with Ace and Peter, but that's not happening.
Exactly.
So, let's have two world-class musicians sit in for them.
Absolutely.
I don't see anything wrong with it.
Absolutely. Now let's get to this Kiss farewell tour.
Oh yeah.
This I can't remember if I told you this or not, but the reason I was backstage that night in Ames, Iowa, when I originally met you, which I know you don't remember and I don't remember either, but I remember being there.
All right.
That was the very first time I was ever backstage at a Big Boy show. My buddy John Napper worked for AT&T Wireless, and he was handling cell phone accounts for, I think, a couple of your guys and Nugent and Asian guy. Sounds familiar a little bit.
Does sound familiar.
Yeah. So he brought me back, and we're just, we're bullshitting in your dressing room after your set, drinking your beer.
All right.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
But then, then I kind of brought that up a little bit when you played Soundcheck, and you said, I've got stories.
Well, I always said, the Kiss show is fantastic.
Yeah.
But it's not as fantastic as watching those guys backstage interact with each other.
Oh, boy.
Catering. And, it's like there's four tables in catering. They're all at different tables. And,
wow.
This guy's eating cake. This guy's eating cake. This
Gene's
guy's
eating cake or cookies.
Paul and Gene, they like to have a small slice of cake. Ace would sit there and drink something, and Peter be hanging out, I'm going to shut my ringer off.
That's all good.
Yeah, but watching them interact backstage was really cool, and just interacting with them was amazing. I remember this one night, Ace came in the dressing room, and this is way back when he was still partying, but he came in, he opened a can of Pepsi and dumped it over our clean ice, and then filled it up with, I think it was Jack Daniels, and then left like 5 Vicodin on the table and walked out. Went out to play.
Oh my! So he did that in full makeup?
No, it was before.
Because that would have been badass.
Yeah. No, the best was watching him walk around in full makeup and a leotard, holding his phone up looking for a signal backstage.
Oh, my God.
Yeah.
What was that like for you? I mean, because obviously Kiss is a huge part of your life.
Yeah, I saw Kiss in 1977. Snake, Rachel, I all saw him the same week. And Eddie Trunk, too. We all saw him in the same week in different shows. And for me, it was my first concert, and it was life-changing.
Right.
As it was for so many others.
Right.
And going out on that tour in 2000 with them was just like stepping back to that day. And, we go out and do our set, and Ted Nugent was on that tour, too. He'd do his set. Sometimes I'd go watch it. Sometimes I'd just hang out. But the Kiss show would start, and we'd all be out there. We'd all be out there watching it. And it was just like stepping back in time to that day I saw them in Long Island at Nassau Coliseum. It was like chills. It was, because they had that effect on us.
Yeah.
Yeah, you of course, you of all people.
Right.
So we got to see that every night, And here's the thing about opening for Kiss. Nobody gives a fuck about your band.
Exactly.
Nobody cares. Nobody cares. You're playing for a bunch of Gene Simmons and Paul Stanleys sitting there in their seats, Everybody's wearing Kiss makeup.
Yep.
They're sitting there and they don't care.
Well, the first time I saw Kiss in makeup was the reunion tour in St. Paul, and we had the Melvins as the opening act.
Uh-huh.
Now, you imagine you've got 15,000 people there to see Kiss.
Yeah.
And we have to watch the Melvins.
Right.
Not a shot at the Melvins.
No.
Not exactly the perfect fit.
It's a mismatch.
Because I think a couple nights before in St. Louis, they had Alice in Chains.
Right. Yeah.
And we're like,
yeah, come on.
Fuck! I'm in the third row. I'm like,
Yeah.
I want to see Ace.
Yep. I want to see Ace. Yeah. It's hard opening for Kiss, Now Ted Nugent was out there, and he demands your attention.
Yes, he does.
Like you can't even describe it. Not to mention he had Marco Mendoza on bass, and he had Tommy Aldridge on drums. So
that's right.
It was a freight train coming through.
Tommy Aldridge, a man who I don't think has aged.
Well, if he aged, he left it on the highway with that bicycle
Right.
of his, man, because he's always out on that bicycle.
Yeah.
Cruising around. Hey, man, just did 40 miles. You're like, holy shit, and now you're going to go play.
It's a fucking alien.
Jesus, I got to get 40 minutes in my bunk before I go play. You're riding 40 miles. So, he's just that was a really great set. And one of the highlights for me of that tour was the pyro guy let me fire off Ted's pyro when
awesome.
he's got the bow and he shoots the guitar with the bow. and then boom, everything explodes, and I got to trigger that. It was a pretty blast.
Had you guys played with Ted before?
Just those gigs.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it was a bunch of them. I mean, it was
right.
He didn't do that whole tour, but maybe 100 shows or something like that. It was fun. He was cool. I mean, he's crazy, but
part of his charm.
Yeah, sure. As a matter of fact, I went to see him at Canyon Club recently.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Went back to say hello, and he remembered all that, and it was kind of cool.
Of course he does.
And then I shook his hand, and it was like sticking your hand in a fucking vice. And he holds on, and holds court with you while like you're stuck in a bear trap.
Wow.
Yeah. So, he does a hell of a show.
Yeah.
I don't agree with his stuff, but, whatever.
Did that happen when you moved to L.A.? It just kind of disagreeing with Ted Nugent all of a sudden?
No. Yeah, all of a sudden I'm at my Whole Foods all the time. I mean, actually, I like tofu, man, I didn't realize how much I liked tofu until I moved out here. I was like, oh, shit, what's happening to me?
Well, if you get it at the ramen joints.
Oh, yeah. Dude, I live a block from like 10 ramen places. It's awesome, and they're open till 2.
Oh yeah, ramen is.
It's nothing like a nice hot bowl of noodles at 1 in the morning.
I know. It's even better when you're hungover, but you don't drink anymore, so you don't have to.
That's right.
You don't have that pleasure.
Yes, exactly. That special pleasure. Yes, can't say I miss it that much.
Oh, Lori is Skid Row on tour next year in Australia on the books.
I wish. Next year, we are leaving the country, but I don't see Australia. I do see the UK in March, including the UK. Yeah, Ireland and Scotland and Wales and England town. And then in May, we'll be hitting the rest of Europe or parts of it. Or I haven't seen the dates, but I know that in May we'll be going to Europe. And I heard some talk about South America, but I don't know what's happening with that. So, I play guitar. People are like, hey, man, when you coming here? I'm like, when I become a booking agent, that's when I'll be there.
There you go. Well, if you ever want to sit in and do a couple of Ace Frehley gigs with me.
Oh, yeah.
Dude.
I can throw down some Ace.
That would be fucking awesome.
Oh,
I have Tony checking in on the Twitter machine. Make sure you follow me on Twitter, Izzy_Presley. I'm on my quest for 1 million followers. I'm getting close to about 1,950.
Oh, shit.
So it's
I'm not even sure if I'm following you.
I don't think you are.
Well, I'll have to follow you.
Yay!
I'm going to be the guy that pushes you over.
Tony wants to know, would love to hear about how your collaboration with Yamaha Guitars came about. The Signature is a great-looking instrument.
Well, it's not a Signature, but thank you, Tony. That's a Pacifica from the Custom Shop, and that happened when Kelly from Buck Cherry, Kelly Lemieux from Buck Cherry, the bass player, we were talking one day. He's like, you should check out the Yamaha stuff, man. I got a guitar looks kind of like yours. It's kind of same shape, Stratty looking. And I was like, really? He's like, I'll send the artist rep a text right now. And I was like, cool. And a couple days I went down there. A couple days later, and they're like, yeah, let's build something. So I just told them, my basic guitars, a mahogany body, maple neck, Seymour Duncan JB in the bridge, and any old single coil you got laying around in the neck, 3-way switch, volume knob, we're done. The deluxe version has a tone control, some high-tech shit.
Oh, yeah.
And we got a Floyd Rose on there, and it's outfitted with all aftermarket parts from FU Tone, Floyd Rose upgrades. That's futone.com. My buddy Adam Reaver is doing some real good stuff. I got titanium saddles and a brass block under there, and all kinds of goodies. And it sounds great, plays great. It's
all that matters.
It's built by the Custom Shop.
Right.
Stuff is amazing, but the Yamaha stuff off the line. See, I kind of overlooked Yamaha,
I think a lot of people do.
I'm over there and I'm playing these guitars. I'm like, what the fuck? This is really nice. It's like, well, this is what we make, you know? That's a stock guitar that just came in from Japan. I was like, no shit.
Yeah, it's are you familiar with Hairball?
No.
They're out of Minneapolis. They're like the ultimate rock tribute.
Okay.
They have 3 singers, and they'll open the show. Bob will come out dressed as Gene or Paul in full garb.
Mm-hmm.
They'll do 2 or 3 Kiss songs. Then Joe comes out as David Lee Roth, and they
cool.
swap out like that. And they have pyro, and they've got a fucking bus. I mean, these guys are doing some fucking business.
Sounds like fun.
Well, Happy, the guitar player, that's what he uses, those fucking Yamaha Pacificas, because he beats the fuck out of them, but they play awesome.
Yeah, the only thing is their stock model doesn't come with a Floyd. And you know, when I'm playing guitar at home, I play Strats and Tellys. I don't play Hot Rod Floyd guitars.
Right.
Because I just like the traditional stuff. You know, and the occasional Les Paul. But with Skid Row, I gotta have a Floyd Rose. I'm married to it, man. It's like dive bombs, lots of dive bombs and shit like that. So those guitars are my working machines, and they're working out great. And the guys at Yamaha have been really, really good to me, and I'm grateful. I'm grateful people give me an endorsement after all these years. You know,
right?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah,
I appreciate what's happening. You know,
that's good.
I do.
That's a good attitude to have, because I think a lot of people don't.
you think?
Yeah. Actually, Telly's going to be my next guitar, too.
Oh, yeah. Gotta have a Telly.
Right next to your foot, you will see an empty jar with some change in it. Yeah. I am saving up to buy the Kotzen Telecaster.
All right. Oh, yeah, that looks nice. Yep.
Dude, those things are fucking sick.
Yes.
Sick.
Yes. And it'll make you play just like him, too.
Yeah, exactly. Right. No pick or anything.
Yeah, right. No pick. Sing your ass off.
That just pisses me off.
I know.
Helvetti checking in. Give a big hug to Scotty Hill from Italy.
Oh, hello, Italian friends.
Following even at 4 a.m. and loving it.
That's great. I love Italy.
I do, too.
It's good fun over there, man.
I need to go there.
Fucking wild fans over there, man.
That's what
I call
I
them
hear.
hair pullers. They get real excited, start pulling your hair and shit.
All right. David McDonald checking out. Thanks, guys. We'll listen to the rest later. Very entertaining and informative. Thank you. Franklin Smith. Speaking of Buck Cherry, Scotty filled in with them for a bit.
I did.
Stories.
I did. Well, Stevie D and his wife were expecting a baby, and he took his maternity leave, and I picked up the slack.
There you go.
Yeah. We toured together in Europe, and the bands got along well together. We get along well with most of the bands we play with.
It's always a good thing.
Yeah. And a lot of mutual respect between the two bands. And when Stevie split for his break, I came in and filled in. They gave me a big pile of songs to learn. I was like, fucking right, this is awesome.
You got to play Shock Me. I mean, Lit Up.
Yeah. There's a little similarity there.
Just a tinge.
Yeah.
Just a tinge.
So it was a chance for me to play my Les Paul, which is I don't get to do live. I rediscovered my love for the Les Paul, and I went out and did those shows with those guys, and it was just a blast because I love that band. I love their music. It's just such raw, straight ahead rock and roll. I mean, it's no bullshit, straight up. And it was really fun, and the guys were treating me great. And
that's awesome.
I made some great friends, and Keith and I have become real good buds, and we hang out all the time, and Korean barbecue all the time.
Oh, yeah.
You bet.
Actually, you know what I like better than Korean barbecue is Japanese barbecue.
Yeah.
Because you don't walk out of there smelling like a kitchen. There's a couple places around town, the Gayu Uku or whatever the hell they're called. Go.
Oh, I go to these places all the time.
Yeah. But that one you have to go to.
My wife is from Japan, and
there you go.
We eat a lot of really good food.
Nice.
Yes. So the Les Paul, yeah. So I rediscovered the Les Paul with I don't know whether to talk about barbecue or guitars.
I can talk about food. I'll fucking
couple of my favorite subjects. Jesus.
Right.
Yeah. Well, I went out and started playing that Les Paul with Skid Row, and it was a chance for me to play my Les Paul, which is I don't get to do live. I don't know whether to talk about barbecue or guitars. I can talk about food. I'll fucking
Right.
couple of my favorite subjects. Jesus. Yeah. Well, I went out and started playing that Les Paul with Skid Row, and You know, it's like all the parts I need the tremolo for. I had to figure out other stuff, but I'm like, you know, I thought like Jakey Lee or something like that. I was like, all right, I'm just going to do it. You know, it was fun. But
you know, you can get a Les Paul with the Floyd Rose on it.
No. If you do, I'll cut your hand off.
Did you hear that, Ace? Von Johnson, not Freely.
Oh, well.
He played one. He's like, oh, my God, I got to have one of these.
Well, you know what? Snake has one of the very first Les Pauls to ever be routed for a Floyd. And he got that in, like, probably 88. And it had been around for a little bit already. And it's an old, beat-up Les Paul custom with a silver Floyd Rose on it. And it's really just an amazing guitar. And it's just... somebody just took a router and put a big giant hole in it. And aside from that one, you can keep the rest of them.
There you go.
It's not for me. If I need a guitar with a Floyd, I'll get a guitar with a Floyd. Can't be routing out a Les Paul. And can't be couldn't put belly cuts in them either. No belly cuts. None of that shit.
I know. Just fucking keep them heavy and beautiful.
Fucking guitar snob over here.
I know. Dude, I'm kind of in the same boat with you.
Hey, it looks good on you, though.
One last thing, and then we'll let you go. I mean, we're rolling on.
So we're not going to talk about the barbecue, Korean or Japanese barbecue.
Oh, I mean, we could talk about that for an hour back.
No, I got to leave and go get some.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. Are you guys working on new material?
Yes.
You are?
Yes,
okay.
We are. Actually, yes. The last writing session was about 2 weeks ago.
Okay.
And the stuff is being, we've been writing and demoing and, we have the internet now, so we don't have to be in the same room.
There you go. Do you like that? Or would you rather be in the same room?
Sure, yeah. For the purposes of writing, yeah. But for the purposes of actual recording, no, you gotta do it in at least in Skid Row. You have to do it that way. Oh shit! I just knocked over your Telecaster.
You knocked over my 15 cents in there.
That's right. Hey, listen, Fender Telecaster.
There you go.
I've heard better sounding ones, but so.
Okay, that's getting a Pat Fontaine laugh as well.
Give it.
Yeah.
Where was I? What the hell was I talking about?
We were talking about writing.
Oh yeah,
recording.
Yeah. So, you got to be in the same room when you're recording, and you all have to be there, and you got to get the cheering section going from the rest of the band when you're cutting your tracks and all that shit in a studio. I think back to the old days when we were recording on tape, and a lot of people don't realize that we used to have to rewind the tape and wait for 30, 40 seconds while the tape rewound and found this. And if you were syncing up tape machines, then you'd have to wait for them to sync and all that stuff, and then you'd have time to psych yourself out. And then if you fuck up in the beginning, you got to go. It's just the whole thing.
This is why recording used to cost so much.
Yes, yeah, it did. It's come a long way.
Yes, it has.
I remember when I got my first Porta studio, I was like, "This is amazing."
Awesome. So, do you have a time frame on when we may see some stuff?
Nope.
No.
I wish I could, but if you go back as far as you can possibly go with any Skid Row interviews, I don't think we've ever given time frames on our stuff.
There you go.
Because that's just gonna be a lie.
There you go. Is it all new material? Are you gonna re-record anything? Was it Tony or Hornell?
Yes. Yeah. Tony was with us briefly. Turned out to be a mismatch. He's a great singer and all that, but it's not a Skid Row singer.
Yeah. Well, you guys re-recorded. I remember you with it, or was that with John?
What was it? I don't. Was it Monkey Business?
No, I think it was. I remember you.
No. 18 to Life.
18 to Life. There you go. Thank you.
I think you did a good job on that. No, we won't be doing that.
All right.
I'm not saying we will never re-record any of our stuff. A couple years back we did a punk version of I Remember You.
That's another one that I was getting them crossed up because I knew there was one with one and then the other one so good too.
Yeah. So whatever. We kind of just do what we want. So.
And that's what you should do.
This is all subject to change.
There you go. Dude, this has been a blast.
Thank you.
Thanks
you
so
for having
much.
me.
Thanks for having us.
Yes. Call the elevator.
Scotti Hill, Skid Row. When the record is done, you are more than welcome to come back to pimp it.
You bet.
I always got a microphone for you.
You got it, brother.
So thank you. This has been a fucking blast.
Mr. Izzy, thanks.
Let me hit my Black Diamond outro music. All right. This has been a great time. Make sure, Scotty, before we got you still here, people want to get you on social media. How do they do that?
Scotty Hill. At Scotty Hill on Twitter.
That is with an I.
SCOTTIHILL. At Scotty Hill at Instagram. Facebook, go fuck themselves. Everybody says. Everybody tells me, oh man, Facebook sucks. Facebook. Oh, you're not on Facebook. Well, you just said it sucks. So I'm not, I'll take good advice. I'm not going on Facebook. But there is a fan page that a friend of mine, cool. I'm not on Facebook.
There you go. Hit that old stuff too, and hit me on the Twitter machine, Izzy_Presley. Facebook.com/user. Or no. Facebook.com/another podcast. Make sure you follow the show on Spreaker that you're listening to right now, or on iTunes. Subscribe. Send me money. Izzy.Presley@gmail.com if you want to support the show, because this is not free. See you next week with Robbie Wrist. It is another fucking podcast.